This is part 1 of mastering brushes in Photoshop. In this video, I'm going to show you how to organize your brushes, how to download more brushes, and how to use the brush panel. So first, let's go to Window and go to Brushes. This is a dialog for brushes. Now I have it really large because I was viewing a whole bunch of brushes earlier. You can resize this just like any other panel. You can even dock it into a group like that, but I want to have it floating for now so you can really more clearly see what's happening. All right, so here we have folders of nicely organized brushes. I did this yesterday, and then it made me think, hey, I should make a video. So this is probably not what your brush dialog looks like. If you've been collecting brushes for years, it's probably a ginormous mess. All right, so let's clear this up. So I'm actually going to delete all of these. Yes, delete groups. Okay. All right. I have no brushes now. This is terrifying, but it's okay because I know what to do. All right. So first we're going to import some brush presets. There's a few ways to do that. Well, just two. First, you go to this menu on the top right and you go to import brushes. And now you need to find the brush file. Now, this is something you need to remember. Photoshop brush files are .abr files. I guess that's Adobe Brush. Adobe Brush. So if you're not sure where your brush files are, whether in your crazy download folder or in various old versions of Photoshop, here's a great tip. Download this free program called Everything. It is the best program to find anything or everything on your hard drive. Super duper fast, way faster than Windows ever could. Watch this, .abr, boom. It freaking searched my whole hard drive already. Isn't that amazing? You can organize them by the path, by size, and all that. Now I did have to go to search everything because this .abr is not any of these. So yeah, I just found all my brush files scattered, as you can see. Some in Documents as backup, some in my Photoshop 2023 folder, some in Photoshop Beta, some in temp files, and download folders. So we need to go to one of these. Let's go to the Downloads folder because I have a few in there. So I'm going to go to Downloads, and automatically Photoshop is looking for this .abr. So all we see is folders and .abrs are all right here. So I have a fall, a spring, chocolate impressionist, and manga. These are all made by Kyle T. Webster, which is an official Adobe guy who makes amazing and amazingly free brushes. Look at these. They're incredible. And this is not just like 2 or 3 brushes. This is like large packs of brushes that are already preset with like dynamic stuff going on. It's good. Okay, just download all of these. If you do any kind of digital painting, you'll thank me later. And he's got a bunch of stuff out there. So anyway, I multi-selected all of these by using Shift. I'm going to click Load. Now instantly we have all the folders here. Let's open up some of these folders and see what they look like. Now for me, I have my settings showing only the brush tip. To do this, go to your settings in the top right. Some people call it a hamburger menu. I call it the menu. And check brush name so we can see the name of it. Honestly, it doesn't really even matter. I actually don't care about the name. But I do care about the brush tip. If you do brush stroke, it's going to show what it looks like in a line, which for brushes like this that are set up, this is a great idea. For brushes that are not customized, it's just going to be like a copied stroke of the same brush. Very boring, but this looks cool. Like if I'm painting, I'd like to see what it's going to do to my painting. I usually use brushes for special effects and retouching, not really for painting. So I'm going to turn off stroke, but you may want to see stroke. Beyond that, we have the size of these thumbnails. You make them really small or really large. You can see what they are. I like them kind of large. We have these 5 folders here. As I import more and more, I'm going to have up to 20 or 30 folders, and I don't want that. So let's organize these by making a master folder for each genre or category. I'm going to call these Kyle's Painting Brushes, right? Because I'm going to have other brushes for special effects. I'll have some for retouching and other things like that. So I showed you one way to import, which is by using the menu and import. The other way is actually just opening an ABR file. When you open an ABR file, it will open with Photoshop and pop into your brush dialog. So I have here on Daniel Grove brushes. If I double click, there we go. It opens up. I have a folder, all kinds of random things that I use on a regular basis for my mostly cosplay and some of my graphic design stuff. Let's talk about further organization. Let's make a folder. I'm going to call this one Shapes. Okay. Now it's empty, obviously. So I'm going to grab all of my basic shapes, the ones that do not have custom brush settings, which you see by this little brush icon. That means there's like scatter settings and random opacity settings and stuff like that to make it more interesting. Rounded corner squares there, octagon, square frame. Okay. Oops. Put it in there. Okay. So now that I have this, I can actually select all these brushes, right click, and export selected brushes. Now this is not going to export them individually. It's going to make one ABR file with all these brushes inside of it. So I'm going to call this Daniel Shapes. This is going into my downloads folder. Now watch it as a test. There it is, Daniel Shapes. If I double click on it, It opens as a folder with the brushes. Now, if you click on this and right click the folder name as a brush, it'll come in with a subfolder inside of it called Daniel Shape. So to save yourself some extra steps, don't do that. Just select the actual brushes and export that with the folder name. I learned that the hard way. Okay, let's delete this. Cool. Now you can, of course, have subfolders. So I can move this folder inside of my folder. So I've got my shapes and then everything else. And of course, you can just export a single brush. Let's say you make this masterpiece brush you want to send to your friend or sell for $1 bajillion online. Just right click that one brush, export selected brushes, and there you go. You can rename or delete them, or you can click on Get More Brushes, and that'll take you to that same Adobe site that I had up earlier. It looks like they do a seasonal release of brushes every year. That's very nice of them, very generous. Honestly, it's the least they can do for the amount of money that we pay them every month, right? And that's pretty much it for this first part of the brushes. In part 2, I'm going to talk about how to make custom brush presets, which is actually using a brush and then adding all kinds of cool settings and bringing it to life and making it do cool dynamic stuff for you. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. Any questions or if I messed up something, let me know in the comments down below. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content because I got a ton of great stuff coming out way. Thanks for watching. Have a great week.